Hi, Father Chris here. Did you hear the one about the man who went to a psychiatrist and he said, Doc, I don't know what to do. I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee. And the psychiatrist looked at him and said, Calm down, man, you're too tense. Are you too tense? Has the pandemic strung you out a little bit? As it seems to go on, and the COVID numbers are getting worse and worse, and we were told that they maybe would flatten out. And it just seems like it has no end to it, and our life has changed, and we're wondering if it'll ever get back to normal. The fabric of our society seems to be tearing apart. We've got monuments coming down, some by civic vote in a proper way, and others just by vandalism and ruination and violence. Um, there's so much going on at once. Business heads are trying to think real fast to stay ahead, and church leaders are trying to think of how to do church in ways that we've never done before, and we're trying to be creative, but it's a challenge. And it's certainly getting at me. I don't know about, I hope that it's not getting at you so bad, but I know that some of the people that I've spoken with, it really is starting to wear us thin. Um, there's in Psalm 60, King David said, "O God, you have shaken the earth and split it open. Repair the cracks in it, for it totters." And if you feel like you're cracking up, can I just say that that's normal? At times of great stress, people tend to get a little emotionally thin. And I want us to look a little bit more closely at Psalm 60 for a moment. It says, "You have rejected us, O God, and burst forth upon us. You have been angry. Now restore us. You have shaken the land and torn it open. Mend its fractures, for it is quaking. You have shown your people desperate times. You have given us wine that makes us stagger. But for those who fear you, you have raised a banner to be unfurled against the bow." Anne Lamott, in her book called Hallelujah Anyway, talks about the Japanese art of kintsugi, which is when a pot gets broken, or sometimes they do it on purpose, but when a pot gets broken, they mend it in the broken spots with gold resin, metallic gold dust resin. And the end result is rather beautiful, actually much more beautiful, can you see that, than the original pot itself. Here's an example of another one. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. I would love to have that in my home, much more than some old white cereal bowl, but this is gorgeous. And then, here's an illustration of someone who is literally cracking up, and it was repaired using the same technique. The banner, I think, that David mentions here, just try this one on for size. The banner that is being unfurled for us against the bow or against the attacks is that we are a people of the resurrection. And just like the art of kintsugi, what God does with us is he takes us in our very weak and broken places and makes those the most beautiful parts of our lives. We expect to try to preserve ourselves so that we can maintain our perfect beauty like we were when we were younger. And that's really not possible to do in life, but God knew that before we did, and he's made it so that in the same way that when his son was marred and brutalized, when he was pierced, those scars didn't go away, but they actually became things of beauty in Jesus, because when he appeared on the resurrection, he actually kept with him his scars. They were transformed into something of great glory and beauty. And so, as John mentioned in his vision in Revelation, when it says he turned around and he looked and he saw a lamb standing as though he had been slain from the beginning of the world, he's talking about Jesus. And the way he knew that he had been slain was because he had the wounds still with him. And yet again, those were marks of his glory. And God does the same thing with us. He takes our weak and broken places and he makes us, he transforms us at those precise places where we feel broken, inadequate, and even hopeless. So I think that what we have is actually a ministry as believers of helping the world to see that wherever the world is broken, God is there to make repair and to make transformation. And I want you to hold on to that hope, because when you look at the news and you see that things look like they're falling apart, and when you feel like there's just no hope, or you're just tired of it all and you wish that it would all go away and you don't even know how to put words to it anymore, rely on God and know that He is right now in the process of making a transformation at those very points of brokenness that we get so weary of. Take that with you today. Contemplate on it. Read Psalm 60. And I pray that you will have a better day and better days to come. Goodbye.